Welcome to the Vetiver Vibes podcast. We're your hosts, Nikki Frazier and Rachael Dean, certified clinical aromatherapists. We are excited to have you here on today's episode where you know that you'll get the best essential oil scoop.
This episode is brought to you by Essentria, a leading online school for aromatherapy. If you want to learn more about how to become a clinical aromatherapist, check out the courses at www.schoolofessentria.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Vetiver Vibes. Nikki Frazier here with Rachael Dean.
Hi.
And we're super excited to be celebrating our 5th year anniversary.
We are finally 5 years old. That's like a really big milestone for a business as well. So I am super excited.
I know. I feel, to me, I'm almost like we're in the toddler stage, but we're beyond that.
I think we're a little bit beyond that now. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot of businesses don't make it to 5 years. I find the 5 years and the 7 years are the 1 year, the 5 year, and the 7 year are the three big milestones for businesses, I feel. And I'm
Well,
so
5 years
beyond
going
excited.
strong. So we are super happy to be here and to have all the support of everybody that has been all of our students and our listeners here at Vetiver Vibes. It's been a wild ride it's been longer than 5 years that we've all been together working on this, but 5 years since we've been open, and it's been a lot, but I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, it's so amazing that we're here and celebrating 5 years and looking forward to 5, 10, 20, 30 more until I'm retired.
Yes. And you started saying, a lot, and it has been a lot more 5 years since it's just been 5 years since our doors opened for Essentria. I started doing the math in my head. I think it's been 9 years since we met.
Yeah, I think that's
which
about
is
right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think
I was like,
maybe
has it been
7
10?
years.
I think we're just shy of the 10 years. I think we're at the 9 years since we met, which is
and I feel like it's been about 7 years since we decided that the school is what we wanted to do and to move forward with that and start writing the curriculum and everything. So so 5 years is, our big number, but at the same time, there's a lot of work that goes into it to even get to the 5 years for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, we had to, like you said, write all the curriculum, which always makes me it reminds me also of our curriculum came from the idea of writing a book. And then we quickly realized it was much more than a book. And why don't we just turn this into a course, which is where Essentria, the idea of it came from. So I always love that, reminding myself of, where we started, what those first ideas were.
I think a book would have been great, but I feel like this is much more fulfilling. So I'm definitely glad that we went this route instead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love being able to support our students, not only just our students in our certification course, but even, the people in our Facebook courses and those who email us with inquiries and questions. Being able to support people with the safe use of aromatherapy is a huge passion. And
we
being
also
able
have
to
our
do that.
free intro course, like just, learn the basics of essential oils and using them safely. And thousands of people get that course every year.
Yeah.
And I love that there's people out there that are like learning something about using them safely. And it's not, and it's there for them to learn from. And a lot of them come back and ask us questions, and a lot of them become students and want to learn more. So that free intro course is a great way for people to kind of get like a vibe as to like who we are and how our course will look and everything. But also it's just a great resource for people who just want to learn more about essential oils. So
and even the blogs too have a lot of great information where we get a lot of response back questions, different things like that. So absolutely, it's to me the more we can support people in using aromatherapy safely and getting that safe information out there on the internet is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, Wednesdays I've been posting our safety images and stuff too, so people can take a look at that and download the free safety infographics and stuff that we have on our website as well. So there's tons of resources that don't cost anybody anything, but they can still learn and grow. And then if they decide to join us for more, all the best.
Yeah. And actually, and that makes me think too, I believe we just put up a new freebie on the site too not long ago for the coloring book. So if you wanted to
Take a look.
download a cute little coloring book to do some mindful coloring in some downtime that has just some flowers and things like that. It's super cute.
We'll
I
put the
had
link
fun
in the
creating
show
it.
notes as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
That also makes me think too of, the students that we have been able to support, not just in this past year, but the last 5 years in total, where we have students in 138 countries,
I know, that's awesome.
which I can't even imagine. Our top countries being Canada and US, but also UK, India, and South Africa, which I think is really, really interesting.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
And then what was our number of students today, Nikki? You were very excited about this number when you saw it.
I was so excited. We are at 8,888 students. I'm a huge numerology person. I love numbers. I see angel numbers everywhere. I see it's a big thing in my life. I love it. So when I saw that 8888, I was over the moon happy.
Feels like a very good number.
It does. It does. So that was absolutely amazing to see how many people we have been able to support and guide in one way or another throughout these past 5 years. It just
Well, and
fills my
other
heart.
things, yeah, for sure. Other things we've done to support the industry as a whole too. Like last year, we sponsored both Botanica with the national, um, well, NAHA. Wow, I just completely lost the what does NAHA mean again? Oh my God. Holistic Aroma
National National
Association.
Association for
Holistic
Holistic
Aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy.
I don't know why that just went out of my head. But we sponsored NAHA, and also we went to and sponsored the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists conference in June, and that
Mhm.
was I love that. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to the NAHA conference in person. Next year, we're saving up.
Yeah, well, in 2025, it's going to be in
Oh, 20,
Florida.
yeah, that's next year,
So
right?
I'm
Yeah.
ex yeah, I guess it is. So I'm very excited to go because that one I was like, oh, that one's kind of more doable. So I'm excited that we can go in person to that one.
Yeah, looking forward to that. But
Absolutely.
the CFA conference this year was awesome. I loved it.
Mhm.
It was really nice to get together with all our Canadian aromatherapy friends that we hadn't seen in a while since
Yeah.
pre-COVID. So that was really nice. And then yeah, I love supporting the CFA as well. So um,
Just offering that support to our associations, I find is important to help aromatherapy grow. Like we need to continue fostering a good relationship with other aromatherapists and the associations who support us and we support them. It's a give and take relationship, and they always have both the CFA and NAHA have amazing webinars almost every month. They have great information for students or aromatherapists combined.
yeah.
It's really
And
important to support associations who are helping keep this career and this path alive and moving forward.
and speaking of NAHA, I know that we've announced this on our socials and stuff, but like Nikki, you have recently joined them
Oh
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am the International Canadian Director for NAHA. So they do have directors in all the states, or I'm pretty sure most of the states in the US, and then they have international directors for different countries. So I'm the regional Canadian director for NAHA. I just joined not too long ago, so it is an exciting role to be able to support fellow Canadian aromatherapists for NAHA. Rachel and I have both been part of CFA in the past. You were vice president. Did you have other
Yeah,
roles in the past?
I did like social media and stuff like that for a while,
Yeah.
and then moved to the vice president role,
Mhm.
and then life got crazy, so I had to step back from that
Yeah.
and focus on, well, I think it was around the time when we opened up this, and so between this and my other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sure that we'll be back to the CFA in the future. But I am also glad that you're now have your foot in the door with NAHA to get to,
Mhm.
hear more on the day-to-day kind of stuff and
Yeah.
meet more
Well, I
people.
loved my experience with CFA being the education
Oh yeah.
director. I loved being able to help, looking at the curriculum and supporting bringing in new schools, international schools that we were able to increase in the CFA. So I
Hmm.
think, being able to support NAHA in having its time now, we can support both associations, and now's the time to help support NAHA and seeing how we can support all the fellow Canadian aromatherapist with it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So in the last 5 years, we have expanded our courses as well.
Mhm.
So just this past year, Nikki, you worked really hard on our Ayurvedic Indian Head Massage course, and we launched
Mhm.
that. So thank you, Nikki, for getting that one done and out there. And people are signed up for that one and working on that all the time.
Yeah, and it's a
And then
certification course. So you are, there are case studies at the end. It's not just a 2-hour course that you can, watch and finish, and that's it. It is a full certification course with assignments, case studies, and at the end you get a full certification that says you're certified in Ayurvedic Indian Head Massage, which is I love giving as a practitioner. It's one of my favorite things to give. And then, receiving it is always absolutely lovely.
being the guinea pig, yeah, man, like I loved it. I need to sign up for another one and come and visit you.
Yes. And that's just it. It's always nice to be the receiver, obviously. You get to sit back, relax, maybe even fall asleep. I love it when people fall asleep, but it is one that I find so relaxing to give as well. It is one of my favorites because I get almost as much benefit, almost, as the person
I
receiving
found
it.
that when I was giving aroma massages too. I find that
Yeah.
it was such a therapeutic thing for me.
Mhm.
So same thing. We have aroma massage. I don't think that came out last year, but it's still one of our
No, a
newer
few years ago.
courses.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love giving aroma massage, and it's and part of it's just the aromatherapy because you get to
Mhm.
sit there with those oils for an hour and you're breathing them in and relaxing and the music and calming and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And so for me, I don't do enough of that for myself. So I always found that it was a great way where I'm, giving to somebody else, but also, enjoying and receiving so much therapeutic benefit as well.
absolutely.
Um, the
We
other
also,
stuff we've done, yeah, we did a mini course recently that
yeah.
Nikki also ran for us as with the registering and labeling Health Canada. So do you want to tell us a bit more about that? Because people can still get the replay for that and whenever
Yeah.
they need it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got quite a few mini courses out there. We put a hold on them for a little bit and then just recently released like you said, our registering and labeling with Health Canada. We get a lot of questions on how do we label our products? People take our course because they want to formulate different product lines, which is absolutely amazing. They want to make sure they're doing it safely. But then once they have the products, what do you do? How do you do it? How do you label properly? And it's not even if you're selling, if you're gifting also. Like as soon as a product leaves your hands, you need to have that registered with Health Canada. It doesn't matter if it's a gift, it doesn't matter if it's a giveaway that you're doing for free for your company, things like that. It needs to be registered with Health Canada and you need to have proper labeling on it. So it is something we often get asked. So we put together a mini course on it. It's all there with step-by-step instructions, how to go through it. Once you do it a few times, it gets easier and easier, but it's just a little daunting. I remember the first few times I did it, it was very daunting. So having that step-by-step guide that you can just rewatch as you're registering your own products is very, very helpful to have.
One caveat I just wanted to mention, when you said like whenever you give a product away, that's virtually true. If you're giving it to somebody where you haven't done a one-on-one consult with, if
Yeah.
you're doing, if you are like the aromatherapist working with a client and you give a product specifically, then it should have labels on it and such. Like, don't get me wrong, but there's a different one-on-one connection with that, and with your insurance and stuff like that, you're covered. It's not expected that you're going to always um, register those with Health Canada. So just to be clear with that. And but if it's something where you've created something and you're using it very regularly with all of your clients, I would suggest you do um, register with Health Canada because it would make your life easier longer term. So
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because yeah, I don't want
I don't
someone
want
to
to, I don't want people to get scared.
misinterpret.
Like if our
Yeah,
if our students are listening, like there's always a catch. There's a
yeah.
caveat there,
And
but
that's the importance of having your clinical aromatherapy certification because if as long as you're doing a health history or you have the health history and you've done a consultation with someone, you're making the blend right there on the spot.
yeah,
So my label is just a blank label that says personal blend on the top, and then I hand write in what it is,
yeah.
what's in it, the ingredients, and what
And
it's
you would
for.
have You as
And
the aromatherapist will have records of exactly what you
exactly.
provided to your clients. So you would know that you put in 3 drops of this, 2 drops of that, and this was how big the product was,
Yeah.
etc. So that is how you can get around, because it's a one-on-one consult and because you are holding that information and your client can come back to you at any point with a question about it, or if they have a
Yeah.
reaction, you can try to figure out what caused that and everything, and you guys can work together. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
um,
Very, very different than just, having an Etsy line or going to craft sales, different things like that.
yeah, where people can't necessarily
That's
always
when it
find
needs
you
to be.
again if they have
Yes,
questions.
exactly.
Um, one of the
The
other exciting things,
other,
yeah, let's say, yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say is I also participated in the Aroma Summit by Emily Carpenter last year. I think it was in June,
that
May.
sounds right to me. It was around that time
Yeah,
of the year,
yeah. So it
maybe
was
May.
really awesome to participate in that. Being part of a summit was always a big time goal of mine, and so to be asked to be part of that, I felt very honored. So,
Yeah, I agree. It was a great summit too. Like I learned so much from, I mean, in this case, from all the other people, but I'm sure lots of people learned from you too. So,
yeah,
um,
and I mean, we when you joined the VIP summit, you also got or when you joined the Aroma Summit, you also got a VIP package, and there was a lot of great information from a lot of the other presenters, a
yeah,
wealth of
it was
knowledge that
awesome.
summit was.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that summit. So if she does it again, which I think she might be, then
Yeah, she's doing it again
definitely
early June, I believe it is this year. So
great.
she released the dates. There isn't a way to sign up yet that I've noticed, but the
Okay.
dates have been released, which is really, really great.
Yeah. One of the other things we wanted to talk about was our pricing, because we seem to get a lot
Mhm.
of questions just lately. So maybe the US to Canadian dollar has been changing and I just haven't had time to look at that. But we are getting questions about like why is there a cost difference if they're looking, this is probably mostly NAHA people
Mhm.
who are coming to our website, but why is there a cost difference for our aromatherapy certification and a clinical aromatherapy certification course versus, say, other US NAHA um, schools. So, did you want
Mhm.
to talk a little bit about that just to
Yeah, and I
address that?
remember a little bit ago when I was looking, because I mean, we do try and keep our prices very competitive,
Of course.
but we are in Canada and the US. We are Canadian, we're a proud Canadian school, so we do need to stay competitive with our Canadian schools, first of all.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, just because we're in the US also, our prices are going to be more reflective of the Canadian price, whereas the US schools are higher. So we like to stay competitive is our biggest thing. We also don't want to limit what is out there for people to access. We recognize we've been actually humming and hawing about increasing our prices over the last little bit to stay more competitive, but we also want to hold off on doing that because in Canada, honestly, everything has been skyrocketing in an astronomical, horrific, disgusting way. I feel that we just didn't want to be one other person to increase our prices at this moment again. Not saying we won't be increasing. We definitely have to stay in the market eventually. Just at this moment, we didn't necessarily
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
because we wanted to make sure that everybody has access to safe aromatherapy education. That is our
Absolutely.
biggest goal. That's our bottom line is everyone has the right to have safe information on how to use aromatherapy safely for themselves, their loved ones, their clients. And we didn't want to have finance as an additional hardship for someone to access.
Yeah. Also, with if you're looking at our prices with the Canadian to US exchange rate, then you're saving like 30% just on that, give or take.
More.
So
Last time I checked, it's 37% exchange rate. So
yeah, so yeah, so our American friends, we are a really good deal.
yeah, we are.
Like, and Canadians, we're trying to stay very competitive for you. So,
Yeah. And then
um,
that's the balance. It's hard when, we are, and I mean, we are in 138 countries, right? So we have global, there's global access to our course. We
yeah,
have students worldwide. Um, and so we recognize that not not every country has a strong dollar. Not every person's personal finances necessarily might be where they want them to be either. We know a lot of people, this is their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth career, maybe, or even just a hobbyist or side hustle, and they don't want to spend. I've seen courses of $5,000 out there
Mhm.
before that are actually less hours than what we offer also.
Yeah.
So it to me, to spend $5,000 when it's your hobby doesn't always make a lot of sense for, and that's what people have actually emailed into us and have stated.
Yeah. It's also hard if you're a new business to
Yeah,
invest that kind of money as well. So
yeah.
anyway, so just know that our pricing is competitive, the value is definitely there, and we are here to help support you. And because we're in Canada, you guys get to save a little bit more
Hmm.
typically. So
Yeah.
upcoming courses. You have an upcoming course that you're also working very hard on right now. And do you want to tell people, give a sneak peek to that?
Yeah, so this is a mini course. It's going to be supporting people living with dementia and aromatherapy. So aromatherapy and dementia is a big thing. It does hit close to home for me as well.
Me
And
too.
I always get choked up, but it does hit close to home for me. And so someone actually reached out to us to offer a course. So it's something that I'm working on, and hopefully that will be on our website soon. We'll offer it
Yeah,
live
probably a
like we
couple months
typically
from now.
do.
Yeah, probably a couple
Absolutely,
months from
yeah.
now. Um, and
It'll
then some
be
of the other things that you and I have been working on this year. So I tend to focus a lot on the back end side of things. So I've been learning more about like websites and SEO and making our course. So like the system that we run our courses through to be more user friendly for all of our students. And there's a lot more updates that will be coming to that over the next year. And so
And
that's
we're
kind of
getting a
like a
lot
lot
of
of things.
comments on that too. I just want to throw that out there because I'm lost in that area. I'm not tech savvy. I hate computers, honestly, with a passion. I can't do computer stuff. So Rachel is 100% our back end person, thankfully. And we get a lot of emails though about how nice our website looks for those that are like our normal website open to the public, but also our student. You recently did a few updates to make it more user friendly and just attractive, and
Yeah,
being able
there
to
will be more when I get
hmm,
some more downtime. It's the stuff that I like doing. I enjoy it so much. And it's weird because some people are like, how do you have time to do these things? And I'm like, but it's like my artistic outlet. So,
yeah.
working on the website and stuff, I enjoy it. Um, so yeah, anyways, for our students who are listening, there will be more that is upcoming, but it'll probably be over the next couple of months. And I'll just slowly be chipping away at little updates here and there. And then Nikki, you are constantly taking more and more aromatherapy courses, which I do as well, but it's not necessarily my focus on a day to day the way that it is
Yeah.
for Nikki. So
So, and I love how you say that that's your artistic outlet is doing the website stuff, and it is, that's your strength, and we all have our strengths. My strength, I love the research. I'm also a course junkie. I'm always a course junkie. But I also love doing the research and looking up stuff. So that's why like in our aromatherapy and dementia course, looking up the research as to what is actually out there, what essential oils are supporting people with dementia, with Alzheimer's, that type of stuff is like, that is where I love to dive deep into the research and let me read, what
and
has
I
been
love
out
to
there.
listen to your course and learn that way and then figure out what it is I might want to learn more about.
Yeah.
And I do
And
that for like aromatherapy podcasts or like past recordings of different things or webinars. So yeah.
yeah, and that's where, being a course junkie. So this past year, I did take a course on gut health and aromatherapy. I'm currently taking one on trauma and aromatherapy. I'll be doing the pet and aromatherapy masterclass coming up as well. So, and those are all ways to not just keep my own, aromatherapy knowledge sharp, but also to be able better to support our students too,
For sure.
because we do get questions all the time about different things. So being able to just offer, a little bit more insight into those sections is always great. I always refer to any clinical aromatherapy course, it's going to be, you get, and I don't like the word basics because the basics is more of like our foundation course. That's 50 hours. That's, you get the basics of how to be safe. Our clinical one, it is 475 hours. And so it's not just the basics, but it's, to me, it's like that GP of
It's an overall,
aromatherapy.
exactly, general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then just like any other modality, you can then dive deeper into different niches that you want to go into. So,
and start
for
specializing in things, exactly.
exactly. So, years ago I specialized in children and pregnancy because that is a big passion of mine. I do want to, as a in my corporate days, a child and youth care worker and addiction counselor. So, being a counselor, supporting people through mental health situations, different like that has always been a huge passion of mine. I still incorporate a little bit of that into when I see clients and other things that I do as well. But it is something I want to kind of dive deeper into, and marry those two worlds together would be absolutely amazing. So that's something that I want to do more of, is bringing my counselor background into my aromatherapy,
For sure,
and
for
bringing
sure.
that all together.
And
Mhm.
then, so to kind of start wrapping fix things up a little bit, we are Vetiver Vibes has we've just finishing up our third season. This is going to be
Mm.
the last episode of the season 3, but don't
Woohoo!
worry, season 4 is probably going to start within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Nikki is hard at work on that. This is episode 71. So we have done 71 episodes, and I say we as the royal we. Nikki has done 71 episodes. She's awesome.
Again,
Statistically,
you do
I've
the
probably done about
background.
I do the
I do the
background stuff.
interviews.
That's
You do
true.
the
I do.
background.
But but yeah, without Nikki, there's no Vetiver Vibes. So thank you, Nikki. I enjoyed this process. I'm so glad that you took this on a couple of years ago now,
Mm.
and that it's something we're doing and offering. We've had over 7,000 downloads. So people are out there listening to us, and I love that. And yeah, why don't we just like kind of end up a little bit with kind of what the next season's going to bring? You're working hard
Yeah, so
on,
we focused, I mean, we're aromatherapy based, so we've
of
always
course.
focused on aromatherapy. But there's so many other modalities out there. And especially for myself, we're both trained in other modalities
Yep.
also. We both have our reflexology, we both have our Reiki,
Mhm.
um, all kinds of other things. I'm also trained as a doula. I'm also trained, as a counselor, different things like that. So holistic is always key, though. Being a holistic practitioner is always at the root of whatever we want to do. So this year, I really want to expand interviewing other holistic practitioners. So we did do a breathwork one not long ago, and I'm in chatting mode with quite a few upcoming people to interview regarding movement, polyvagal, using like herbs, and I want to talk to herbalists as well, but like herbs, kitchen herbs, just to help with everyday things, different
Yep.
things like that. So just keeping, holistic practitioners in mind, and expanding what else we can do to help our mind, body, and soul be
So if
full.
someone is listening and they want to become a guest of
Mhm.
ours, we will have the link in the show notes, and I'll make sure that that link is actually on our website. I don't know where we have that actually. I know
Yeah,
we
I
use it,
don't
but I was like,
know.
hmm. Anyways, we'll make sure that's available to you. So if you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to talk about something with Nikki, like
Yeah.
please reach out. Because we are always looking for new people to talk to. And
Yeah.
everybody is welcome to reach out to us, and we will make sure it's a good fit for Vetiver Vibes, and Nikki will schedule you in.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, just email us too at info@schoolofessentria.com. Great way to reach out to us. And if you can't find that link, then we can
Yeah.
send it to you that way. But and if you are a aromatherapist, we're not stopping our interviews with
Oh,
the aromatherapist. Just to
no,
make
for
that
sure.
clear too, we will continue to highlight aromatherapists that are out there, because we want to continue to highlight the amazing aromatherapists that are out there who have been doing amazing work all around the world. I love that the podcast has enabled us to reach more aromatherapists worldwide. And highlight
Our
the
stats
different
for
modalities.
Better Vibes countries is very similar to our
Mhm.
stats for the people who are also getting our courses as well. So
Yeah,
North America, US is actually higher than Canada for Better Vibes, which I thought was pretty cool.
that's
And
interesting.
but Canada's right there behind it, and then the UK, and I can't remember the other country after that. But it is that still that same top three, which makes sense because we are
Yeah.
English based. So
Yes.
those three do make a lot of sense. But there's lots of other countries that are listening to us as well. So thank you. And yeah, we are excited to, we're prepping season 4 now. The first episode will be out soon. It's not going to be a big break or anything like that. We're still
No.
trying to stick to the bi-weekly, so the every other week. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. So, I mean, I think this is a great spot to wrap this up. It has been an amazing 5 years. I am so full of joy, love, abundance, gratitude. I
gratitude.
think
Yes.
gratitude is really what comes out the most of how much love and support from not only our students, our listeners, people in our Facebook groups, our Instagram, all of this.
Our
But I
graduates.
also want to give a shout out to your husband and my husband also, who have supported us over the years. I'm just thinking of this now,
Yes. Oh my goodness.
who right now, as we're recording this, my husband is keeping my children entertained so that they don't come and interrupt this recording. So a huge
Yeah.
shout out to them who have seen us grow and, from our early days of writing the curriculum to
And
where we
constantly
are now.
support us and, let us do our thing. Don't
Yeah,
care. Like
yeah,
it's never a negative. It's always positive.
yeah,
they know it's helping support them and their families as well. So it's
exactly.
you know, it's great.
Yeah.
Love my husband. Your husband's great too.
So thank you everyone for
Thank
supporting us
you.
over these 5 years. And here's to the next 75 years.
Happy birthday to us.
Yes. Have an amazing day. And thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Vetiver Vibes. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for spending your time with us here at Vetiver Vibes. This episode was brought to you by Essentria, a leading online aromatherapy school. Don't forget to check out some of our free resources at www.schoolofessentria.com.
If you love this episode or you got a lot of value out of it, please make sure you share it with someone in your community who you think would enjoy it too. If you haven't already subscribed or reviewed the show yet, you can go on over to your preferred streaming platform and hit subscribe, then leave a review. This is the best way to help support us, and we appreciate it. Email us with a screenshot of your review, and we will send you a free guided meditation as our way to say thank you.
This podcast is for information purposes only. We are certified clinical aromatherapists and holistic health professionals. If you have a medication concern, please refer to your health team. Everyone's health is unique to themselves, so the topics and suggestions stated may or may not apply directly to you.